The U.S. military is stretched mighty thin, everyone. The tactical live media and pundits keep throwing around terms like low yield tactical nukes. How insane is that? I mean, there's nothing tactical about a nuclear weapon, and you want to talk about the yield just means how many people it kills. So that's about it. And I said about 4 or 5 shows ago, maybe 6 shows ago now, that I expected them to use a tactical nuke, as they call them, on Pickaxe Mountain just to contaminate the entire area from their work, which seems to be nuclear weapons themselves. The bottom line is there's no such thing as a controlled nuclear exchange. It's all in someone's head. They cannot control that. Once it's released, that's it. It's released. It's like trying to put up your shield for a solar flare. It ain't gonna happen. You can't posture on three global fronts without running out of conventional runway, squeezing allies through tariffs, weaponizing the dollar now with all the countries. These aren't back channel ultimatums. That doesn't cause your competitors to capitulate, to run and hide, to duck in fear. It causes them to get, well, I don't know, pissed off, and it causes them to unite. I mean, that is what it does. So, CIA warning economic outcasts, the escalation traps, the Operation Economic Outcast, CIA secret visit to toss around some nuclear manipulation to Moscow, Russian people, and Vladimir Putin, I guess. CIA Director John Radcliffe made an unannounced visit to Moscow. Well, I'm sure Moscow wasn't caught by surprise. But either way, economic outcasts is what everybody's throwing around. That's the new threat. You're going to threaten the entire world if you don't do exactly what we say, if you don't stop doing business with Iran completely, then we're going to take you off the dollar. You won't be able to be in our dollar system. Well, if nobody's noticed, I've noticed there's a lot of countries leaving the dollar or at least looking for ways that they can get out. So I would suggest that all this forceful pushing onto people is going to escalate that. And I'm sure it's going to quicken the pace to a lot of people leaving the neighborhood, shall we say? And beings were apparently making enemies with everybody. I mean, hell, we got Canada we're making enemies with now. So I guess they're going to start doing business with China. I don't know. Russia. Who else? We got our southern border, Mexico, that is run by the drug cartel and pretty much seems to be running California and probably parts of Arizona and New Mexico. I mean, we did discuss there's 53 Mexican consulates inside the lower half of the United States of America. And there's 50 states inside the United States of America. So, Mexico outnumbers us when it comes to states, I guess, if you want to look at it like that. I was being sarcastic there, but I apologize, kind of. Anyway, The strategy, the U.S. Treasury blitz on five core sectors: Iran economy, gold, aviation, shipping, crypto, and tech, combined with 50% tariffs on trade partners. The counter reaction, attempting to force global powers like China, Russia, and regional middle powers to capitulate to the US, drop to their knees, do what we say, or we're not going to let you use the US dollar. Well, we did that to Russia back in 2020, if I remember right. And it seems to be backfiring every single time we attempt it or rely on it. So I think it's going to backfire again. And it's because when we squeeze people, all the major adversaries start forcing their own economic military actions. And then we, of course, will in turn bitch all about that and call them names and say how bad they are. When in fact, they're doing what they need to do to preserve themselves. I mean, you can't even blame them against that. We would do it ourselves, but the Navy swapping out a carrier that's been in the Middle East for what, 270 days isn't going to change anything there. The George Washington uh, is just another temporary block. Is what it's not even a real block. I wouldn't even call it a block. It is getting very sad right now, and I don't think we actually have a strategy. I don't know how else to put that. It just doesn't seem to we have a strategy. Now we're gonna. I'll just end it with this. Now Scott Bassett said that he's going to crash the dollar. He said that publicly on TV. We're going to crash it. Listen to the words he uses. Look at the actions they've been taking. Now, in order to bring the stable coin online, the US dollar has to die. I have said that in shows after shows. And when they do that, I have referred it to in another show as 1933. I believe it's 33. Uh, Fix it if it's wrong. But that's when they confiscated the gold. You know, you turn in all your gold because we're making it illegal for you to have it, and they'll pay you $15. So they pay you $15. You give them your life savings and your heirlooms, and they take the gold, they melt it down, and bam, lo and behold, they jack the price up to 30 bucks, 35 bucks an ounce. Or actually, I think they doubled it. It went up to like 36 or 37. Either way, they doubled the money that they took from you. So they cheated you out of 50%. Not you personally, but our parents. And on top of that, inflation rose about 50%. So that's 100% they took from the people, no matter how you look at it. So my point of saying that is that's what I believe they're going to do again. I've said it before. If you have $10,000 in your bank account, well, when they do the switch over to stable coin, as they're going to call it, you're going to now, if you had 10,000, you're now going to wake up Saturday morning because they'll do it on a Friday. You'll wake up Saturday morning and you will only have $5,000 in your savings. And inflation rising Starting now, it's going to get way, way, way worse, everyone. You know that. So let's not lie to ourselves. We can hope for the best, expect for the worst. That's what mom used to say, so I'm going to stick with it. Anyway, that is what they're going to call their stable coin. In doing that, they take half of the value of the United States of America and they put it into their bank account. This is what is going to stabilize the stable coin. They steal our money again, is what they're doing. That's why in the show yesterday, I believe it was the show yesterday, I said, what do you do? What do these people do? I've never done it, but I'm sure there's a ton of people out there that have. You lose your job or you're got way too much debt because you extended your credit cards way out and you can't pay it off anymore. The interest rate's too high, blah, blah, blah. What do? You cut the credit card up and you just don't pay anything. So you lose your credit history, it goes down to nothing, and you go bankrupt. You refuse to pay the credit card because you're going bankrupt. That's what I see the United States of America as a country doing right now. That's what I see Donald Trump doing right now. He's bankrupting the country completely. And it's already bankrupt. So just print it up, and we keep on buying all this stuff with fake money. But, for now, we're calling it real. And so they're running out the credit card, is what they're doing. Just like everybody else does, just like they did in 2009, 2008, 2009. You couldn't afford to make the uh, house payment anymore because the interest rate was going up so high. Uh, you just throw the keys on the counter and people were just walking out because they couldn't afford to pay it. That is what the U.S. government is doing. They are bankrupt. The United States of America is bankrupt, and that's what they're doing. They're limiting out the credit cards as far as they could go, getting as much as they can with it, at the same time threatening the entire planet Earth with sanctions that they won't be able to use the US dollar that they are destroying, have destroyed. It's not being destroyed. It is already destroyed. It's just being played out. Its final tune, I guess we could call it. So that's what I see. If you see something else, I'd like to hear all about it. Put it down in the comments. Tell me all about the way you see it. Because that's what it looks like to me. Because when these people are going belly up, or some of them that are on just their last leg, they got to use the last bit of that credit card to buy food for their kids. You can't blame them for that. But they're going to run it out until they stop letting you use it. And that's when it's all going to happen, everyone. And it's going to happen on a Friday night. You're going to wake up Saturday morning and it's all going to be changed. You're going to call it the stable coin and tell everybody how lucky they are and how good they should feel about it, that it's stable because it's a name, stable. But in order to get that stable coin, they had to steal, take, confiscate, withdraw the wealth of the entire country to do it. At the same time, lie to you all along the way. Yeah. This is played again, Sam. That's what's going on here. This is what happened back in the 30s. Just a whole new version, a whole lot more money. And the stable coin is going to be stabilized, stable coin, stable dollar, whatever you want to call it, by the repatriation, theft of the American people's bank accounts, savings account, wealth. That's how it's going to be achieved. And that is why the businessman, Donald Trump, who has gone bankrupt how many times? He knows how to play the bankrupt game. Squeeze out every dollar you can get out of it until they just won't give you no more. And then that's when you throw your hands up, claim bankruptcy. But in this case, they're going to call it the stable coin. And then they're going to steal everybody's money right out of your bank account. That's what they're going to do. All right, everybody. Hope you like, subscribe, follow, put your comments down below. Tell me the way you see it, because that's how I see it. Like, subscribe, follow. Jump over to PayHip, and you probably buy a couple of interesting books. They're entertainment read, but you can find a little bit of something in each one of them. All right, everybody. Kinetic News Daily. We are real. We are live. Hope everybody has a good day. We're out.